just how you've both been dealing with the pandemic. It's been such a weird 6 months for everybody. Has either of you picked up any new hobbies like sourdough bread baking? I mean, what has the experience been like for the two of you?
I'm very excited. I'm very,
You're excited?
yes, because mine is Zelda, Michael. And my God, I've conquered so many monsters and I've cooked so many strange potions. And it's just, I've been living inside of the land of Zelda. I'm a full blown gamer now.
Boy, I think I need to get into that. I need to dump these kids and start playing Zelda. I did the sourdough. I went into full blown pioneer woman mode. Like people were worrying about toilet paper and I was worrying about like delicious food and how we could eat it. A lot of mom's home cooking, if you know what I mean.
What's interesting is it kind of solidly, I think, forced everybody to do a sort of slowdown. And, life is so this fast moving train of, potentially sort of warped ideas around what's important, all the running around and where's the moment. So I think that I remember our early conversations, and we would do these Zoom pitches, and Maya would be like sourdoughing, and I would be still in pajamas, really just enjoying this sort of slower pace and just like time to think instead of run.
I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of thinking instead of running.
I don't know if everyone who knows your individual careers knows that you're not only very good longtime friends, but collaborators. And I would love to just hear the story of how the two of you met and artistically fell in love. Maya, do you remember when you first laid eyes on Natasha?
I fell in love with her when I saw her in Slums of Beverly Hills and felt like I was watching my person. You know, when you see your person and you see something familiar in someone's eyes and you feel like, oh, I feel a connection. And then I had just started working on Saturday Night Live, and I think it was my first year. And there were a group of kids, all SNL and cool New Yorker kids hanging out. And she sauntered over and said, "You want to be in a fashion show?" I was like, yeah. Great. My friends, Tara and Chloe, have a fashion line called Imitation of Christ. Do you want to be in it? And I was like, great. And we just became friends instantly. Like, she was my first true New York friend that I made when I moved here when I was 27.
Who had that energy of like we would be up until 5 in the morning, and Sunday it
Unbelievable.
was time for plans, like
Yeah.
shopping and eating. It was
Yeah.
like we were
Sounds right.
so little.
And wasn't there a summer where you actually lived together? I mean, was this
Yeah.
like an odd couple situation? How are you as roommates?
We seem like an odd couple, right? We get along real great. Natasha is a very nurturing and loving soul. Quite easy to live with. She's also a lot more fun than I am, so she definitely drags me into more fun experiences than I would tend to involve myself in. We had a real time. We were really enjoying our youth.
Just for me, when I'm with Maya, I instantly feel like my sort of child self is complete. Of just the two of us could be hanging out, and we could be like 8 years old, or we could be 40, or it just doesn't matter. Meaning,
It's
like the
true.
most sort of, I was like a philosophy major. I'm very ridiculous as a person, meaning very basic sort of overthinking stuff. And I feel like when I'm with Maya, I feel very safe and seen, and like somebody who's saying, I get that whole sort of inner monologue, and I raise you one by just being in the moment of this experience, of which there's a, springboard for kind of bringing that sort of essence into the world as much as we can, which is obviously why we sort of decided to join forces.
Yeah, so now you've started Animal Pictures and you're working together as producers. You have some really exciting projects, including a Netflix special with Sarah Cooper, who's like the queen of pandemic comedy in the past half a year. Everyone knows who she is. I'd love to hear just about what what your kind of goal was together for the kind of projects that you wanted to make. Sort of what your common vision was, and also, first of all, why did you name it Animal Pictures?
I think I suggested animal because there is a level of voracious energy that and appetite that Natasha has when it comes to work. I didn't want to say like baller pictures or like murder, like she murders it. Hey, murder pictures. That doesn't sound great. But I find myself many times sitting back and saying, you're a fucking animal in the best possible sense. I think we were having lunch one day and I said, you should name it Animal Pictures because she blows me away. And, you know, it's not just like, oh, someone can accomplish something, but it's the desire and the capability to take something on. I mean, the Sarah Cooper special is a great example of that. I mean, this is something that we were lucky enough to become a part of. Sarah is such an incredible talent, and also it's such an unbelievable moment for her, and what an incredible project to be a part of. We were trying really hard to get this out right before the election, and it had to be done very quickly. So Natasha jumped in and said, I'll direct it. But it's not just that. You'll see that when it comes out that it really is she's a full-blown animal. I'm like the Rick Rubin of the two. I'm the quieter long bearded guy that lives in Malibu that's sort of like, yeah. Wouldn't you say I'm the Rick
Yeah, I
Rubin?
mean, but I know I'm like, is it Rick Rubin and Johnny Thunders? Who is it? Maya likes to do this thing, which is like sprinkling um this like she'll just go like, yeah, like, I'll talk in a big, New Yorkers monologue kind of these are all my thoughts. Let me give you all my thoughts, okay? And then Maya will go, and this. And then it's just like a boom, and it's just like that's the thing that I was trying to say. There's like a genius is a very overused word, but there's a very crisp genius to Maya's ability to sort of like razor surgical see through things, and it can be like a whole mountain of words, and then it's just like boom, and that's the thing that actually tips it into a grown up deliverable. What's so much fun about that too is that we don't always have to be the in front of the camera mouthpieces for that, because we've done that for a long time, and I mean still love doing it. And obviously congratulations, Maya, only last week crushing. I mean, that's a dose Emmys, okay, in case anybody's curious. It's a good time to be able to kind of extend and grow rather than sort of shrink.
I was curious if the two of you had other kind of cultural touchstones that you found that you had in common during the course of your friendship. Great character actresses like Madeline Kahn, or other movies. Like, were there things that you felt that were a common aesthetic language for the two of you?
But I can't. Yeah, I mean, you said Madeline Kahn, and I was like, I mean, she's the light of my life. I think I wanted to be Madeline Kahn when I was 7. What are some of the references, Tashi? What would you say?
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting thing. I would say it's more like even that music is actually a huge part of that sort of like shared reference of it. It kind of either sounds good or it sounds like shit. It's either like on key or it's off key, baby. There's a little bit of that sort of vibe, I think, that happens.
I don't think you have to be a musical person to understand what it is, what true musicality is, which is why I think we can speak that same language. Yeah, and I do think it's rock star quality. I think that's why you talk to rock stars and they are obsessed with Curb Your Enthusiasm. I mean, you wouldn't think that the two would combine, but they both, in a weird way, speak the same language, and I find all of that so fascinating. Music is really truly for me like the key into any sort of impression or anything, because it's just really, for me, it's just like being a human parrot, like just reenacting the sounds that I hear. And I guess I assume that like everybody does that, right? Like when you're telling a story, you tell it in the person's voice.
Well, on that note, your role as Kamala Harris, which is now an Emmy award-winning uh, portrayal. I mean, I don't think it's been since Tina Fey that a politician has been so uh, understood in the public imagination through the person playing them on SNL. I'm not sure why, but it is. It's just taken on a life of its own. I was curious when you watched the debate, what was your process? I mean, are you watching this debate with like taking notes, practicing vocal inflections back to the screen? Do you just sit back with a glass of wine and enjoy it? Like, what is your process?
I hate debates in life. The polite arguing fills me with such agita that I have difficulty enjoying any debate in any form. However, yes, I was paying attention to um, physicalities, and also just trying to see how she was doing. And I might as well have been drinking a glass of wine. It was just one of those things. And I was by myself. I was in the house alone and I was talking to myself like, you want to say to the person next to you, like, are you fucking seeing this? This is the most insane, as if things hadn't been weird enough getting us to this point. This is so fucking strange and hilarious. I don't ever really have any sort of answer about impressions because I've never felt like an impressionist. I know how to make sounds, and I infuse that with what I think is more of a character. So I think the times that I've felt successful at any sort of impression is just finding a character, because once I make that real person into a character, then I can create a language for them. And once I have a language for them, then I can, then it all just tumbles out.
Natasha, do you do any political impressions? I feel like you could do a good Bernie Sanders.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I don't like your tone, Michael. I have also sent a lot of tips on Twitter to, I love young people. And, I send them all the weirdo movies to watch. Like, oh, you guys got to watch Altered States. I mean, worst recommendation ever on some level. Nobody needs to see that. But I think I enjoy and get a kick out of like, suggesting to all these lovely fans that I have out there, just the kind of craziest movies I can that are, have stuck with me over the years. And then I'll sort of pull them up and rewatch them because I'm like, well, if it's an assignment I gave to the youth, I ought to suffer too.